and carving the N-word in their chest.
Yes, YouTube, you heard that correctly. That was not a mistake. In Pennsylvania, at Gettysburg College, the young man was held down against his will by his own teammates on the swim team, and one of them carved the N-word into his chest. I have the story right here. We're going to read it from the Gettysburgian, as well as I have a statement from the family and many more sources. But this story goes through more twists and turns than a water slide at a Japanese theme park. But no matter how many twists and turns or weird statements that you hear, the one thing that remains true is, even at the place where a battle was fought to free the slaves in Gettysburg, racism in 2024 still exists. Let's get to the story. An investigation is underway at a Pennsylvania college after a student athlete carved a racial slur into his teammate's chest using a box cutter. The family noted that their son had been the only person of color at the gathering and that the reprehensible act was done by someone the young man had trusted. The family says here, quote, "We have come forward now with this statement in the expectation that it will add clarity, not stir controversy, as we struggle to comprehend the nightmare that haunts our son and our family." They don't want to cause controversy. Okay, there's more here though. Our son did not choose to be shunned and isolated at the behest of some who pay lip service to inclusion and diversity. And that seems like these guys are strong. They're making a strong statement here. I happen to luckily have the full statement. And there's a lot. We got to go over it. I'm going to get there. Let's finish this. In an email sent to students on Sunday, Vice President for College Life, Ann Ehrlich, said that the investigation into the incident was nearing its conclusion and that the student who committed the act was no longer enrolled at the college. I have questions. The student? Tell me, one student on the swimming team was strong enough to hold down another swim team student and carve the entire word, the entire N-word, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters into his chest by himself? You're going to also find out that the first person who was ejected from the team was the black guy. And then this guy was later on. This was 3 days ago. This happened on the 6th of September. The college didn't find out about it until I believe the 20th. I have questions, and I'm not the only one with the questions. My second one is, when the parents say they don't want to stir controversy, controversy has been stirred when the box cutter was presented and then used as a weapon to carve into the young man's chest. That's another question I have. Where are the police? That's a violent act. You said it yourself, it was a hate crime. Now, the one thing that we do know is not anybody on any side is saying that it didn't happen. This did happen. For more questions, let's go to the news program. Check this out.
Some Gettysburg College students are calling it a hate crime, but officially the racial scandal we have been covering at the school is apparently not technically a crime.
That's because the alleged victim is refusing to press charges. Why would his family want to complain to the media but not to police? Seth Kaplan is live with the latest. Seth?
Dennis and Alicia, first let's start with the part almost everyone agrees on. A white member of the swim team allegedly etched the N-word with a box cutter onto the chest of a black member of the swim team. That was the topic of a community meeting at the school last night. We spoke with about a half dozen different students of different races. The vice president of the Black Student Union told us this is a hate crime the college hasn't done enough about. The students' parents went to the media about the situation, which has gotten national coverage. But as for that allegation of a hate crime, what's interesting is, officially, This isn't yet a crime at all. Adams County District Attorney Brian Sinnott tells us he learned of the incident through the media and contacted Gettysburg Police. They also didn't know about it and checked with college security, who said the student did not wish to press charges or speak with police. The question, why?
Tonight, we're starting to learn some more about the investigation into a racial slur apparently being carved into a Gettysburg College student's body. And we're hearing they were teammates. CBS 21's Andrew Klein is there at the school today with the very latest. Andrew.
Well, Joel D., according to the parents of the victim, they gave a statement to the Gettysburg, and that's the school newspaper for Gettysburg College. They said that a racial slur, the N-word, was scratched into their son with a box cutter by one of his teammates on the swim team. Now, the alleged perpetrator has been kicked out of school, according to the Gettysburgian, and the family in that statement with the college went out and said, 2 weeks ago, on the evening of Friday, September 6th, our son became the victim of a hate crime. The incident took place at a gathering of swim team members. It is important to note that he was the only person of color at this gathering. This student used a box cutter to etch the N-word across his chest. Now, that alleged carving happened on Friday, September 6th, and nothing came out about the situation until last week.
Most likely scenario, this was a hazing. This guy knew he was becoming a part of the team, a part of the hazing. He didn't want to tell the police that because the hazing is illegal, not supposed to happen. He didn't want to be a snitch. He just didn't expect that they were going to do that disgusting filth to him. And I suspect that most of the other teammates weren't expecting that to happen either. Obviously, since he's the only black guy there, none of the other people would even have thought that that could be the case because that never happened to them. But the racist leader made it happen. Hey, let's do this to the black guy. None of them had to have that happen during the hazing. That is just my first response, but let's continue. Here's the deal. When you see people not wanting to go to the police or not wanting to file charges, especially against a big institution like that, there's a couple of things that you usually look for first. Well, if the sports team is the big money maker for the school, then you may find some pushback. Also, who was the coach? Who's the assistant coach? Who are these people in charge? Does the people in the program want to hide something and force the family not to press charges? These are the types of things you look for. So I went digging. So you see here, the swim team, the women's swim team especially, just won a championship. Not only that, the only All-American athlete since that coach has been here has been on the men's swim team in 2022. Now, this doesn't seem like it's the greatest program ever, but it shows that it has some prestige. It shows that this coach done some special things. But when I try to find out the coach, nothing. That's weird. I look at the assistant coach, nothing. That's weird. As I go on down the list, the strength coach, who's listed third as an importance in the program, well, now we find something. It turns out that not only is this guy well qualified, but he owns the gym. Looks like the only gym in that entire city. Not only is he the owner of that gym, he actually has a lifetime in, say it with me, corporate law. No wonder so quickly the coach and the assistant coach were scrubbed from the entire athletic website. So, because he's a lawyer, anything else I say now is pure speculation. So I refuse to speculate. What I will do is say this. Racism is alive and well, even at Gettysburg College in Pennsylvania. The strength coach happens to be a really good corporate lawyer. I used to work at a corporate law firm, and I know exactly how good they are. Number 3, this family seems really, really intent on not causing any trouble, and I wonder why. So in light of all that, the only thing that we know for sure, like I said in the beginning, is racism is alive and well. After a young man gets the N-word carved in his chest by his own teammate, and only one of those people gets thrown out of the school. And the first one was the victim, but only one of the aggressors gets thrown out, because by himself he couldn't do it. I have something to say to the people who constantly tell us in the RNC and in the halls of Congress that this country is not a racist country. And I'm not the only one. Watch these clips at the end. Please stay till the end. I'm going to tell you from the words of the family themselves, and you're not going to want to miss it. Watch this.
While a lot of you black people out here being disrespectful and dishonorable to your ancestors, being disrespectful to the whole idea of being black.
Are you ready for 4 more years of Donald Trump? Believe in miracles before Saturday? You better
monkey with the rest of the monkeys. Yeah, I'll bring my grandpa with me.
be believing right now.
Picture of you in the lion's cage.
Well, if you
a lion's cage, you'll be moving all right.
America is not a racist country.
You got white people out here fighting harder for us than you.
Imagine being a young black man at college. You're on the swim team. You're hanging out with your swim team buddies at a gathering. Then, out of nowhere, you are jumped, grabbed, held down, and then one of the swim team members, who you considered your closest friend at the school, grabs a box cutter and carves the N-word into your chest.
In 2022, Mr. Owens and I stand here today as free men, both reaching the American dream and dedicated to ensuring that future generations of black Americans can achieve the same success that we have. And to add to that, to achieve even more success that we could even dream was possible, even in 2022. Regardless of what anybody says, America is not a racist nation. I mean, look around.
Look around. You know what I see? I see this. We have a family whose son came home with the N-word carved in his chest, and in their statement, because they're talking and they're trying to get it all figured out with the college, so docile for some reason. But as you read through all of this, you can screenshot it yourself. This entire publication, this entire document written by the family reads like some sort of a goodwill program. It reads like some sort of brushing under the rug while trying to do the best we can, rather than an angry letter from parents who came home from a mutilated child. This country is so racist, if you look around, you'll see that the family who had a child mutilated by a white student, while other students in the same team as him watched on, and a few of them felt bad and reported it, felt the need at the end of their statement to say our family apologizes in advance if this statement offends anyone. We seek forgiveness if what we believe to be true is perceived as bearing false witness. This is not our intent. Granted, this college, as I found out, was established as a sister college to a Presbyterian school of ministry. So that's why we get a whole lot of this. This religion and this racism has turned a family of a mutilated child into an apologetic statistic. That's what I see. Byron Donalds, Tim Scott, probably reminds me of the same type of family that told you to go up on the RNC and tell this country that it's not racist, while they apologize in their letter and refuse to go to the police. And the strength coach happens to be a really good corporate lawyer. I'll see you on the next one.